This is the elementary school where I met two of my best friends over 2 decades ago. Now today, me as a banker, my friend being an IT specialist and the other one being a DJ. How did we get together last year building a virtual reality startup, building our dream game to the Facebook's Oculus Quest? Let's have a look. This is what we are building.
Grab the key card and open the gate.
So when we were kids, me and Janne, who is the lead developer in our project, if we went skateboarding in the day, we were playing video games at night, many times together with our friend Per, who is the video producer in our project. And if you would have told us back then that, hey, over 2 decades later, in our 30s, we are gonna create our dream game on a zero budget, we would probably have said something along the lines that, we believe you, that's for sure gonna happen. Now, of course, everything starts with a great idea, but for you to actually be successful, you really have to focus on a unique vision so you can stand out from the masses. And if you ask us what is our vision, well, it's not just to create a game, but actually to create the game that we wanted to play when we were kids. And before you ask it, what is our dream game? Well, it's sort of a mashup of the movie Blade Runner and the video game Max Payne. Now, the original Blade Runner is, of course, the classic cyberpunk-esque cult film from the 80s set in a dystopian Los Angeles. In the story, there were genetically engineered humans known as replicants who merged together humans and technology. Now, of course, this raises many interesting questions of what is actually morally right in the ever-increasing interest in human mastery of genetic engineering. Now, when we think about Blade Runner, of course it comes to our minds the endless nights and the neon lights as well in a very horrifying yet beautiful dystopian world. Now, Max Payne, on the other hand, was the video game that put Finland's flag on the video gaming world map over 20 years ago. It's a classic video game that bridged the 90s video games into the 2000s 3D graphic games, told with a sort of a beautiful storyline like never before seen in video games. Now, when we break down Max Payne into two elements, there's sort of the storyline and then there's the bullet time, which was the slow motion action that you could use when shooting in the game. Just talking to you about these titles gives me goosebumps, especially on Max Payne. I mean, the endless hours we spent on playing the game when we were kids. So taking inspiration from these two titles really helped us getting started into creating our dream virtual reality game. And we really believe that virtual reality is perfect for communicating our vision of a dystopian world. And thanks to the Unreal Engine and its blueprint system, we managed to create it without much of a background in coding. So if you're like us, I highly recommend that you check it out as well. And there's two elements here that we want to use for the game to really feel special to you. First, we really want you to feel connected with the storyline, like you're the lead character of an 80s movie.
Once past the fence, I found myself at a shady intersection.
Set in a dystopian world. And second, we want the gameplay to feel truly immersive for you with the fighting elements as well as with the hacking elements, that they are actually there for a reason. So put these two together, we want you to feel what we felt back in the days when we played Max Payne, a seamless transition between the gameplay and the storyline. And a small spoiler here, actually it's not a spoiler, we want to touch upon some moral questions regarding the technology in today's society and in the future, as well as some of the inequalities that are in today's society. Still, it can be tough at times when you're developing a game on a zero budget, because besides you really believing that the work you put in is gonna create success, there are no guarantees here. And that's why you need to have a playful mindset when basically shit hits the fan. For instance, we have applied for many different funding options, and the times you get that declining letter is such a tough pill to swallow. I mean, after all the hard work you put in and then you get that negative news. those times you almost feel like you're about to quit. And that's why those times it's really important to take a few steps back, take a few days of rest, reflect upon things. And every time for us it has happened, after that we get back together and we just believe in our vision, and then we start pushing again forward. And why do we believe so much in our vision besides our talent? Well, here is probably one of the most, if not the most important tip that we can give you, and that is make sure the timing of your game is right. So are there hundreds of already released games out there that remind you of your game? If so, how will you stand out from these games? That's an essential question that you have to ask yourself, because it's a really risky move to make a similar game, especially if you're on a zero budget like we are, because you will have no money to allocate for marketing, so you can't really stand out and be a unique game. So that's why the timing has to make sense from your finances, as you might have to work 9 to 5, so you can create up a financial buffer and then develop the video game at night. And then when you see that, hey, this is actually something you really want to focus on, then you jump in full time and start using that buffer. And of course, we always think that we are building with passion. We shouldn't think about money, but it has to make sense from a business standpoint. So there's big potential there, and do budgeting of your costs as well as estimates on potential revenues. And many small indie studios don't think about the business standpoint at all, and it's quite sad to see that over 50% of the released games on Steam never have generated over $4,000 of revenue. And again, of course you're building the game with passion, but really we want to stress that run the numbers. If you succeed on developing the game, does it make sense from a financial standpoint, so that when you're building your dream game, you will also see your dreams really become a reality when you launch it. And how do we position ourselves on the market? We feel like we have a fresh take at the genre when we think about what kind of a game we are mixing different elements and on which platform are we releasing our game. And this is really essential, because last year when we started creating this project, we were really trying to find our vision, and first we came up with this gym brawl, and now you see that our vision has really developed. So now that we have saved up enough money and also really know what we're actually going to build, we have jumped in full time in order to build our vision into a reality that is Deceptive Reality. Alright, so now we have in check that we have a unique idea, but also that the timing is right, both in regards of what's currently out there on the market, but also in regards to our own personal finances. So now we need a team that can develop the game, but also sell the game, and the team should complement each other, so the cost of development is low, but the potential for success is high. So let's start with me, as I am the lead character of the game. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, we already discussed my background in business, but I also have a 10-year background in martial arts, and that is pretty handy when we're doing motion capture for the game's fighting sequences. Now we prefer to use Unreal Engine because it's probably the most user-friendly tool on the market when you want to create a video game, especially if you don't have a background in coding and you still have to tackle complex tasks such as developing the game logic or the NPCs. Also, Janne's true talent, which is level design and creation, when you think about the neon lights and the dystopian world, really shines with the help of Unreal Engine as well as Blender, which is another tool that we use. Best of all, these tools are free to get started with, and you can also join our Discord channel, as Janne has slowly become over the years an expert in using them. He can answer if you have any specific questions regarding the use of them. Even though we are still in pre-alpha, I think it's crazy that with the lead of Janne, we have already created our vision with these tools that we imagined for a long time that, whoa, this would be such an amazing game to play. Pat, on the other hand, has been filming, editing and creating our marketing campaign as well as our Discord channel, which you can again join if you want to be an essential part of our game development, or you want to discuss game development in general or your project. And I imagine that when we are 80 years old, we are probably going to look back at these videos and these whole game project that we built 95% of this game in quarantine, so over Discord, over Skype. And so it's not like other tech startup stories you hear where they start out in a garage. By the way, we are curious, are you watching this video as you are developing your own game, or are you more curious about our development journey? Let us know below in the comment section. It would be awesome to see like-minded people start a discussion here. We're also looking to hire a coder, so if you're an excellent one or know one, get in touch with us. You can also be one of the first testers of this game if you join our Discord channel. Now this is just a small taste of what you can do to get ahead in your game development journey, and if you get them really well under control, you're likely to be ahead of many other aspiring talents in the industry. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. If you found this video valuable, feel free to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, or join our Discord channel where there's actionable steps for you as well as insights into our game development journey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.